It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
All right, we're going to start with Robbie.
Okay.
He's got a question for you. Once you reach level 7 or 8 of the financial order of operations, do you need to get into real estate? Because that's about the time that we say, hey, now would be a good time to do an investment property or, things of that nature. But do you have to do that? And can you use REITs instead or simply skip real estate exposure altogether? What do you think?
Great. Okay. First, can you hand me Brian's little thing right there?
Of course.
That we did? So she said the financial order of operations.
There you
For
go.
those of you who don't know, we've sort of distilled into 9 steps, 9 tried and true steps about how you should think about saving for your next dollar. And so what Robbie's question is, he said, hey, I'm thinking about real estate, and I've heard you guys say that happens around step 7, which is hyperaccumulation, or step 8, which is prepaid future expenses. Do I have to do it? Do I have to start doing real estate? Well, one of the first things that I always remind people of is I ask them, hey, do you own a home? And for a lot of folks, when they say, yeah, I own a home, I say, great, you already have real estate exposure. You may not realize that you had real estate exposure, but just through the place that you live, whether it's a condo, house, whatever, if you own it, you have equity in it, then you already have some real estate exposure. So it's naive to think that you don't have any real estate exposure. Now, if you're someone who's renting or you don't own a place, then that's a different story. But for the majority of folks who are kind of building through their wealth journey, that's something that happens along the line. So then his question is, okay, well, if I'm not that person, do I have to have real estate? I don't think so. We've talked all the time. A lot of people love the brochure when it comes to rental estate, whether it's like commercial real estate or residential rental real estate. And it's this idea of passive income. I'm going to go borrow some money. I'm going to buy a property and put a tenant in there. And I'm just going to start collecting rent checks. That's great if it actually works out that way. Let me tell you firsthand, as a commercial property owner, when the roof starts leaking, it does not feel very passive. Mm-hmm. When tenants have plumbing issues, it does not feel very passive. And a lot of folks say, I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have the headache. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want the liability.
And he knows. I've seen him plunge a toilet.
I have plunged toilets here. And it's
just saying.
It's not a passive activity. So I don't think that real estate is for everyone. Now, are there great benefits to it? Yeah, for sure. There's tax benefits that are there. There's growth benefits. There's income benefits. But the beautiful thing about building wealth, specifically in this country, is there's no one path to wealth. We have plenty of clients who have never invested in commercial property or residential real estate or any of that sort of thing, and they've still been able to build up a portfolio that provides financial independence without doing that. We have others who have been able to take advantage of real estate. So I would never make a financial decision just because, I'm supposed to do that. I have to invest in that thing. That's not the case at all. And you mentioned, maybe you listened to our show and you've heard us say, real estate is a great hedge against inflation and it's a really good thing to own over the long term. There's income potential. There are really, really easy ways to get access to real estate. He mentioned one in his question, using REITs. Publicly traded real estate investment trusts are a great thing. There's tons of index funds out there that will allow you to have real estate exposure. Just because we say that you can do it at step 7 or 8, just like when we say you can prepay your mortgage if you're young and don't love math, it's okay to not do real estate. It's not a one size fits all. It's not a must. But if you do want to do it, we think it makes sense to do that after you've established a steady foundation, because when you do real estate, you got to make sure that you're deep.
Right.
Because if things go bad, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, you need to make sure you have a financial foundation in place where investing in real estate doesn't bury you.
Yeah. And Robbie did follow up on this question. He did say, he doesn't have a desire to be a landlord.
Yeah,
right. And so
right.
that might be a big part of your answer. And that's totally okay. There's a lot of other investment strategies like Bo was talking about that can get you to your goals too.
Yep.